Gotham City Sirens #1, Leah Williams, Matteo Lally. We were dared to review it by our good friend Lane Kramer, and Doc and I are anything if not scared of bad comic books. We did this bitch, and I certainly regret it.
Really, this is the kind of comic book that in, I don't know, the 80s, the 90s, possibly even the early 2000s would have gotten somebody fired. This comic is a borderline war crime.
I don't understand why they keep hiring Leah Williams, because this is literally what she does. This is what she's done with Power Girl. This is what she was doing on the X-Men line. She's had one comic book series. It was a mini series that was successful-ish. And that was Amazing Mary Jane, but that wasn't really even a superhero book. That was about Mary Jane being a movie producer. But every time she does this, the story gets worse and worse. I don't get the fascination with giving Leah Williams another chance because she's failed every single time.
I feel like there's an editor there that thinks that if they give her enough books, she'll like flash them. Other than that, the only reason that she could keep getting it is because she's cheap. They know that they are going to get literally the exact same comic as the last 7 times she did this same, all the same tropes in a comic, just random girls shoved together for absolutely no reason. This time she discovered that Westworld exists.
One big time compliment. It didn't waste good art. Matteo Lally sucks in this book.
If phoning it in was an Olympic sport, he'd have just won gold.
He would have swept it. He would have got gold, silver, and bronze for this sumbitch.
Exactly. This was very, very poorly drawn for an otherwise normally competent artist.
Was very, very, very surprised, but I'm glad he didn't put his best foot forward because it would have been wasted on this nonsense. And that is the best word to describe this book. And I swear to God, all this stuff is real. What we are describing really happens in the comic book. And I hope that you did not read it if you're watching this review, because this is awful. We have the White Rabbit running through the streets of Gotham being hunted by some bimbos or whatever. And we also have like the lady that can see through the White Rabbit's eyes and they're being targeted. And it turns out Catwoman is aware that there's a big game hunt going on in Gotham and stops Jaina.
I read this in that Hunted comic during the Nick Spencer run on Amazing Spider-Man. He did it better because at least there was a Craven there that was trying to create a hunt of all the animal-themed villains. This time it seems to be just, we need to do a hunt because we need a bunch of cowboys, a thing for cowboys to chase around. Shirtless cowboys at that, because Leah Williams, her being a fake bimbo.
Don't know that she's fake, but this is, I think it's supposed to be a bimbo comic book. You get to the...
I was going to say, as a guy with a bit of a fetish for bimbos, she is not.
Moving on, because it does get more strange. Harley Quinn sitting in some type of Central Park location within Gotham City, playing with her hyenas, and all of a sudden, buffalo start to roam. Actually, not roam. They start to stampede through the park, upsetting her hyenas. And then she realizes there's 2 dudes on 4-wheelers chasing the buffalo, trying to hunt them in the middle of Gotham City. She ends up on one of the 4-wheelers and says she tripped some type of device that makes one of the 4-wheelers crash. I don't even know how that happened. And all of a sudden, their eyes go pink after they discuss that these are just our avatars. We should stop playing the game. And I think they're using real humans as avatars, like a video game, and they die.
Sure, I guess. I mean, that was about the same way I read that scene. Yeah, Harley shoots a buffalo after these guys let their, I guess, unplugging and logging off of the people that they were remote piloting through some magic technology.
It's got to be an app.
Yeah.
I don't think she goes deeper than apps.
So somehow disconnecting and logging off of the avatar, I guess, burns their eyes out and they die. That seems rather ineffective because, look, if I'm playing a video game and every time I, decide, okay, I'm stopping the game for the night and my character, like the avatar that I'm in, dies, I wouldn't want to play that game.
The buffalo aren't organic. They're actually kind of organic, but also robots. But they keep coming back to life?
Yeah, cyborg buffalo.
I don't even get the concept. I mean, I get it. You're playing real human beings to do a big hunt in Gotham City, and maybe you'll even get to hunt the Batman. But I imagine it costs a lot of money to buy a human body to play in a video game. I don't think you would burn through them like that.
This is not a spoiler. Well, I mean, it probably is for 3 issues from now, but it'll end up being a bunch of fat old white men.
Rich, white man, bad is the bad guy here.
Absolutely. They barely showed us anything about the bad guys, and it's already going to be 110% clear that it's going to be rich white guy paying bums to fight each other or going on an African can hunt. Regardless, if you have to steal people and you have to run a major kidnapping ring, it has overhead. There doesn't seem to be any real business model here.
The book does get dumber because Harley now has the 2 bodies and the buffalo that she's killed but keeps coming back to life and her hyenas. She needs to go visit Poison Ivy, who's going to be the brains of this operation. And Poison Ivy is busy looking into Exo Punch, which is clearly making fun of Logan Paul's energy drink that has too much caffeine in it. And she just starts like feeding random people to a giant Venus flytrap type thing, just murdering people on here, even though she's supposed to be the hero. Harley ends up disposing of the evidence of whatever's actually going on by feeding the other 2 bodies to the plant as well. Because why not just feed 4 human bodies to a big plant?
I saw Little Shop of Horrors too. Somebody explain this to me. Look, I understand Harley is has probably at least some degree of super strength or enhanced strength. But how in the fuck does Harley drag 2 adult human bodies and a cyborg buffalo like halfway across the city? Does she have a fucking Green Lantern that I'm unaware of?
No, she's got some girl power, a little Mary Sue in her. When are DC Comics gonna realize you can't keep portraying Poison Ivy as a hero if she just keeps randomly feeding men to plants? We don't even know what these guys did. She's just feeding people to plants because she can.
And I can explain this very, very simply and very, very clearly. The editors are a bunch of progressives, and progressivism is a death cult hiding behind the mask of empathy and virtue. It's a death cult. When they kill humans, that is good, as long as it's not humans also pushing for other humans to be killed. Depopulation is a good thing for the planet because enviro-Nazism.
Is that why they don't like Logan Paul's energy drink as well?
Let's be perfectly honest. Logan Paul's energy drink is like if Walter White was going to make a fucking energy drink. It is the least natural liquid substance that I think has ever been made by man.
Poison Ivy's on the scene. She's been investigating it. Now she knows that there are mechanical buffalo out there and people that are being used for big game hunting in the middle of Gotham. Batman is nowhere to be seen. It feels like he would have gotten wind of this by now. It hasn't happened. And then we move over to Gotham County line, because if you just go outside of Gotham, there's some type of weird ghost town, and you get your team of himbos carrying off with White Rabbit. The one lady can see where she's going because she can see through her eyes. And then we get confirmation that the XO Punch energy drink somehow ties into letting people take human bodies to go and hunt buffalo inside of Gotham City.
I don't think Leah understands how the FDA operates. They're like, well, Exo Punch is prohibited. It's banned from being manufactured inside Gotham, but there's a loophole. It's allowed to be sold. There's a lot of places where you can't because they don't allow zoning for that. That doesn't make it like a banned substance. It just means they didn't want the factory there. Even if you're not allowed to make something in a city, that doesn't mean you can't sell it there. There's no fucking loophole.
The XO Punch, the major color of this drink is pink. And we saw the dude's eyes go pink before they passed away. What are the chances that drinking XO Punch allows them to use your body as an avatar for the big game hunt?
195%.
I believe so. I think that's our connection. So they're going to be drinking nanotechnology or something.
Yeah, that will turn them into possibly drones for this canned hunt in Gotham because reasons.
All right, Doc, I got a question for you. how much would it cost to drone you up? I give you a certain amount of money. You get a year with that money, and then you drone yourself out, and I own your ass.
And
what's it going to cost me?
Now the question is, the first time somebody logs into me and uses me as a drone, I die when they decide it's time to, I don't know, go to the bathroom.
It's none of your business, Doc. Once I take you as my drone, your ass belongs to me, and I will do with what I please.
Well, the thing is, like when they're
you get a year, what's it going to take? What's the monetary value for that year for me to be able to take over your body for the rest of your life with no sense of coming back?
$1 trillion.
$5 million. Let's be realistic here. Your body ain't that good. It's not exactly going to be like the in-demand model here, Doc. This is going to be for the lower tier user.
500 billion.
No, ain't nobody going to pay that much money for a Doc body.
So I'm pricing myself out of the market.
There you go. Doc is not for sale, people. He will not be droned out. And then we get a little bit of an idea who is behind Exo Punch as well as the himbo hunt going on in Gotham City. There's some type of live stream. I imagine it's Twitch or whatever. And we see the silhouette of a player, and she's like, pull. And you see a guy running out because it's not a clay pigeon. It's an actual human being. And she's like, what does everybody want? And they're like, we want headshots. We want headshots. And she pulls out a video game console. It looks like an Xbox One controller to me. And then a person with pink eyes, just like Exo Punch, pulls up a gun, and then she shoots him in the head because clearly that avatar is actually an in-game character. And Punchline is the social media sensation.
Laying in her bathwater in like a little baby pool in a bikini playing video games. This is just another one of Leah's never-ending commentary on horny fanboys. Says the chick that's a self-described and fake bimbo. It's obviously some attempt at shaming men for liking chicks in bikinis playing video games. I mean, look, I get it. Thirsty fanboys, whatever. Who was that chick that sold her bathwater? It's obviously a commentary on that. It's a commentary on the men that are buying it. It's the one that are spending the money on the super chats. It's a commentary on chicks doing whatever they can to get money and, basically being fucking online whores and e-thoughts. It's so cliche. Leah, come up with a second story here. Please, I'm begging you.
I think it's more of a commentary on Punchline. Just like 4 years ago, this character was hot as can be. She had an awesome design to her. People were drawn to the character like, oh my goodness, Joker has a new girlfriend. And here, only 4 months later, she's fallen into the hands of Leah Williams. That character is officially dead.
Punchline in 3 years from a $150, $200 first appearance to doing OnlyFans. Congratulations, you've succeeded apparently.
There is no doubt it wasn't even close. This was the worst comic book of the week. Gotham City Sirens #1 is the comic book that we thought it was going to be. Leah Williams is the writer that we think she is, and she will never be anything more or probably even less. She will always be this. I don't know why Marvel and DC keep coming back to this creator to touch any of their characters. All she does is make them less marketable, less cool, less interesting, doing the same stupid commentary over and over again. But at least they didn't waste good art on this book. It looked like shit. It read like shit. This thing was awful. I will give it a 0.5 out of 5, a 1 out of 10, an enormous fail on this one.
I'm in agreement with you. 0.5 out of 5. It is a 1 out of 10. If you're aiming for sexy, you missed. If you're aiming for funny, you missed. Every single thing they aimed for in this comic, they missed.
Absolutely. Enormous miss on the part of DC Comics and Leah Williams, but that is what they do when they get together. They've been doing it for several years now. I do want to say thank you to Doc for checking this one out, and a hearty screw you to Lane Kramer for making us read this crap. My goodness, at least Uncanny X-Men #1 yesterday wasn't nearly as bad. If you're interested in the full review of this, because we did have to edit it down for YouTube, or the full review of Uncanny X-Men #1 from yesterday, you've got to go over to Think Critical Patreon. We have the Doc Unfiltered show on the Doc is Right tier. There's a link in the video description. You also get the Doc Q&A, as well as the Hot or Not podcast with Jib, as well as the Geek Fix with Aaron, and a host of other awesome things over there in podcast format with yours truly basically hosting all of that. If you haven't checked it out, there's a link in the video description. And this book sucked.